Hello guys, what's up? I'm engineer AK, and in today's lecture we are going to solve the third problem of chapter 1, introduction to static, right? So let's start. So here we have two vectors. The vector v1 has magnitude 10 units and the vector 2 has 12 units, right? And the vector 2 is making a 60-degree angle with the negative x-axis. This is a positive x-axis, so this is a negative x-axis. So here it is making a 60-degree with negative x-axis, right? So in question it is said that for the given vector v1 and v2 of the problem 102, determine the magnitude of the vector difference, right? So we have to find the magnitude of this difference. We have to find the magnitude of this v dash, and angle theta x. Angle theta x mean the angle with a positive x-axis, right? Which or v dash make with the positive x-axis. Complete both graphical and algebraical solution, right? So what we have to do, that we have just to find the this one, the v dash, and then we have to find the angle that it is making with the positive x-axis, right? And we have also then show that values on graph. So here we are given that v1 is equal to 10 units and v2 is equal to 12 units, and it is making a 60-degree with the negative x-axis, right? Now what we are asked, that we have to find the magnitude of the difference of these two vectors, and secondly we have to find the angle that it is making with the positive x-axis. So now let's start. So if I simply draw here, so oops, so there this kind of a rectangle is given, right? Something like that, right here, and it's 3 and 4, right? So here this distance is 3 and this distance is 4. So with the help of this we can easily find this angle, right? And this angle will be almost same, so we can easily find the angle. It is the v1 vector is making with the positive x-axis, so we can easily find this angle, right? This angle theta. So for that we have formula tan theta is equal to perpendicular divided by base, right? So here this is the y-axis, this value I am taking as a y, and this is as a x. This base is x, so perpendicular by base. So here perpendicular is 3 and the base is 4. So from this we can get this 36.86 degree, and let's check it through calculator as well. So shift 10 inverse. When this 10 come from this side to this, so it will become 10 negative, right? Power inverse. So 10 3 by 4. Here we go. So here we get 36.86, right? It is written over here. Now after that what we have to do that we have to find the component of v1, right? So for that, if I simply draw it, for that what we have to do, that we have to, okay, so this and then this, right? And let me change its color because it's the resultant, right? So here we can see that this is the resultant, and it will be having two components, one in this direction and one will be in this direction, right? So I have drawn them here, right, like that. like okay, and this is the v1 vector actually, and this will be v1x, right, or v1y, sorry, and this will be v1x because it with the x-axis, so it will be v1x, right, and the angle it is making with the positive x-axis, so we will take this as cos, and this will be, we will take this as a sine. So I have simply write here v1 is equal to v1 cos of theta, right, so v1 is 10, right, this one has a magnitude of 10 units, and cos 36.86, we have already find this angle which is written over there. So now if I simply plug in the value, so what we will get, let me write here, so 10 cos 36.86, so we are getting 8, right, so I have written here 8i because it's x, so I will put here I, it show the unit vector in x direction. Similar for y, we will just instead of cos it will become sine. So if I plug in here sine, so it giving me 5.99, and if I round off it, so it will become 6, right, and here I have written 6j because it is the j is the unit vector in the y direction, and if I write them combinedly, so 8i plus 6j, right, let me use this one, okay, this one, so it is this one. See, now moving further, now what we have to do, that we have to simply we have to find the components of the second vector, v2 vector, right, so for that what we have to do that I will just it is it will also be having two components like this, so that vector is the vector is something like that, right, so similarly the v2, this is the v2, right, so it is making a 60° with the negative x-axis, right, if this is my positive x-axis, this one, so this will be my negative x-axis, right, so if I want to find the component of this vector from the positive x-axis, so what will I do that simply like that, I will, instead of putting 60, I will put 120, or I can put it 180 minus 60, right, because from here till here it's 180, right, but I want to find the component of this, so from here to here it is a making angle of 180 minus 60, right, so I will get this, and it comes out to be 20. 180 minus 60 give us 20°, right, so for the x component, right, what we have to do, v2 cos of theta, right, it is making angle with a positive, so here I can write it 12 cos of 120, right, so here I get minus 6, which is written over there. And similarly for the y component, what I have to do, that I have to just put sine instead of cos, I will just plug in sine, so I get 10.39, and it is written over here 10.39j, right. Now you know that why I have put here j, because it is the unit vector in the y direction, and I represent the unit vector in the x direction. Now what we have to do, that we have to plug in the values here, right, so we know that v2 is minus 6 I and plus 10.39J, right? And if I talk about the V1, so V1 is 8I plus 6J, 8I plus 6J, right? So if I solve it, so it will become this 8 will become minus, right? And these both term will become minus, because plus minus minus and then again plus minus minus. So minus 6I and minus 8I is it give us minus 14I, right? And if I subtract them, right, so 10.39 minus 6, so it is giving me 4.39, right? So I will write it 4.39J. Now we have these two values, so from this we can easily find the magnitude. Or how we can find the magnitude? That we take the square of this component and then take square of this, and we'll take under the root, so we will get the value. So let me plug in the value here. So it's minus 14, right, square, and here it is 4.39 square. So if I plug in these values in calculator, so let's see. So under the root 14 square and plus 4.39 square, and it is with negative sign, right? This one, here we go. So I am getting 14.67 units, right? So this is my magnitude for this differences, right, for this V dash here, V dash, right? And if I want to find the 10, so it is y divided by x, right, perpendicular by base. So I know that y is 4.39, so I will write a 4.39, and then the x component is minus 14. So let's plug in these values in calculator. So tan inverse, right, minus 4.39 divided by 14, here we go. So I'm getting minus 17.4 or minus 17.41 if I round off it, right? So minus 17.41 degree. So here we can see that there is a minus sign, right? So this minus sign show that it is the angle that is with the negative x-axis, like and if I want to find the let me draw here so you will understand it easily. Let me select this one and let me draw this coordinate system. Okay, this one. Now the value that we have found is like this, right? Or let me, because the angle is 17, so it will be something like this. So now we can see that this angle is actually, this 17 angle is actually this angle, right? This is this theta x, not theta x, it is although theta x, but it is with negative x-axis, right? It is not with positive x-axis. And if I want to find this angle, because we in question we were asked to find the angle with a positive x-axis, so if I want to find the value here, right? If we want to find this angle, because it is the angle that is with positive y-axis. So what I will do, that I will subtract this angle from 180 minus 17.41. Here we go. So I get 162.59 degree. 162.59. 162.59. 162.59, right? It was 59. Let me check it. Yes. Oops. Right, and degree. So this is the angle, right? This is the angle that we have find, and this is the graphical representation. If I want to draw its component, right? So let me make it clear here. So now if we look at here, so this is the actual diagram, right? So if this is in the positive direction, so if I draw one opposite to it, so it will be then minus v1, right? This one is minus v1, and this is the this one is the positive, and this is the v2. And we find that the v dash was v1 minus v2 minus v1, and here the first component was minus 14, mean the I component is minus 14, right? So that's why I have drawn this one parallel to this one, right? You can see that these both are parallel, so that is in minus direction, and the second component was in positive direction, right? So that is I have drawn like on this in positive direction, and then we have to draw the resultant. So it is like this. So it is the v2 minus v1. So this is how you can graphically represent it, right? Like this. So hope you understand it. Thanks for watching, and see you in next video.